On this episode, join Andy, John, and referee Aaron on their journey home from WWE in Dayton, Ohio. Welcome to the road home from wrestling.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors, and it's the only way I live in cars.
All right, well, we're headed home from another week at WWE. What the fuck? My name's Andy, coming to you live to tape from the road home from Wrestling World Mobile headquarters of the world. And I got John on the front seat. What up, John?
Guys, I've never been more disappointed in a show. I thought that there was going to be an elimination chamber because of the theme of the night,
What?
and there wasn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we'll get into why here in a second, But you love to step on entrances, John, but you're not stepping on this one. So we got a debut tonight.
What?
And, yeah, debut on the podcast, and that is referee Aaron came with us at WWE. What's up, Ref Aaron?
What is up, guys? It's been a long time trying to get on the podcast.
Oh, it has?
Wow.
Yeah,
You've been trying to get on?
I mean, we've chatted about it a couple of times, so
Okay.
it's good to finally, not be able to watch wrestling without actually being involved in the show and just kind of sit back and enjoy it and talk about it. So yeah, I'm glad to be here.
You were marking out tonight.
I was. I mean, shocker, I am kind of a mark.
Like, you might have not been working tonight, but you were still in that referee mindset.
He was a little
because
bit,
you were
yeah.
trying to call people out, and I was like, oh, man.
It's what I do, man. It's what I do.
We'll get into all that, but referee Aaron, just a little quick background. Tell us, who the hell are you? I mean, people have heard about you on the show, but you're kind of a year into reffing here, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've got my year anniversary of my first match coming up, January 20th. Will be my 1 year. I've reffed mostly with NWF, so that's where I've come to meet you guys and appreciate all of the words on the podcast. Most of them good.
What do you not like? Do you not like it when I call you out?
No, I actually appreciate it when you call me out. Cause it keeps me on my toes.
You're not someone likes it.
Because most of the times when you call me out, it's the same shit in my head. I'm like, yeah, he's exactly right.
We're on the same wavelength.
We're on the same wavelength. Especially with those damn tag matches, man. Every time.
These fucking wrestlers trying to bury you.
Oh,
All the time.
all the time.
I can't stand it, man.
Oh,
Pisses
it's
me off,
horrible. It's horrible.
It's unbelievable. And then they shake you off when you're trying to count them out and
Yes.
shit like that. Like, oh, man, what are
No
we
respect
doing
for
here?
the refs, man. No respect for the refs.
Well, you got to earn that respect,
Yes.
and you've earned our respect. So we're glad you're here. And we were headed up to this WWE Super Show. What was it called?
New Year's Revolution.
And so that has a connotation with the Elimination Chamber?
Yes, so there were, as Aaron corrected me earlier, there were 3 years where WWE ran a show, I believe, the first weekend of New Year's?
January, usually the weekend after New Year's.
Yeah, and the headlining match was always an Elimination Chamber because they kind of did away with it from being a staple at Survivor Series and SummerSlam.
Okay.
Said, let's put it at New Year's Revolution, and then they did away with the pay-per-view, and then they brought it back as its own pay-per-view.
I gotcha. Well, we don't have time to talk about that. That's a whole. I was about to open a huge can of worms that does not need to be.
You're going to ask what my favorite match type is? It's Elimination Chamber.
Is it really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I just freaking love Elimination Chambers.
I don't know if I've ever seen a good one, so, I don't know. Yeah, you gotta tell me some good ones to watch, because I don't know, man. It's not my shit. But, anyway, well, so we had a house show, right? And I just wanted to kind of briefly go over, from what I understand, the basic rules of a house show. And if you don't know what a house show is, it is a non-televised live event. And, most of your, independent wrestling shows are kind of like house shows, but WWE also runs house shows, and, that's kind of where that term comes from. It's a way for them to kind of, get around and get folks to see them without having to pay the exorbitant, amount that you get for a television taping ticket or whatever. Now, unfortunately, we are going to have some rain. If you're a new listener, we are the Road Home from Wrestling podcast. We review wrestling shows that we go to, and we review them on the road home. So we are in the car driving. That's a shoot. That's not a work. And it's raining, so you're going to hear some noise, and I apologize for that, but I am not God. As, John, turns out, you Didn't you say you were God recently?
No, I don't remember saying that.
I remember you do say that. You did say that, but maybe
never.
So anyway, well maybe you.
I
can do
know
something
a
about the
bronze
weather,
god.
That poor guy. That sucks. Anyway, well, yeah. So I don't know. Tell us. Let's hear from from referee Aaron back there about where this was at, and if you have any history at this particular building.
So I've been. This was at the Nutter Center in Dayton, and I have been to this building one other time for a show. It was for a Raw taping back in 2012. And that's when the night after the infamous Brock Lesnar-John Cena match, when Brock Lesnar came back, and they had that brutal Extreme Rules match, and this was the night after where Lesnar broke Triple H's arm.
Good times.
So yeah, so I have not been in this building since that show.
No kidding.
So yeah, so this is only my second time in the building. I was a little surprised by the crowd size. It was actually a really good sized crowd tonight.
It was? Yeah, I was surprised too. We bought the cheapest tickets there were, and they were pretty good.
Yeah.
You know? It's weird. I remember I went and saw a house show there once before, and I remember thinking that the building sucked for wrestling, but tonight I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think maybe the first time I went, the crowd was tiny. You know, and maybe that's what the problem was, because tonight the crowd was there, and they were pretty hot for almost everything except for women's matches. They don't like that, so
There's a reason tonight.
yeah, there is a reason, and that's unfortunate. But well, anyway, so normally we do a little play-by-play on some of these matches and everything, and tell you results. Tonight we're mostly going to talk about results, and we're going to talk about our opinions and how these matches and these wrestlers make us feel. So we're going to talk about all those kinds of things. So John, let's get started. Tell us what happened first tonight. Tell us all about it. Let's hear it.
So before the show officially kicked off, they had a really nice moment where they brought out the police officers that helped out during the Dayton shooting last year.
Some first responders. That's right.
First responders.
Dayton strong.
Kind of honored them and then did a moment of silence for the victims of that accident, tragic event.
They did not bring Ganger out, though, which I was a little pissed about. Like,
well, I think
we can't fucking get Ganger, in this house show? Come on.
Well, they probably honored him. They honored him at NXT.
Yeah, but let him suplex somebody. You know what I mean? Let him come out and suplex King Corbin and eat, feed him some dog food or something.
That would be a great idea, I think. And then they did the national anthem, which I think is unusual for WWE shows outside of WrestleMania.
You're wrong.
Yeah,
No, they usually do it for house shows.
Always the house shows,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was the Lillian Garcia version, right?
Yes, which was a little long for my taste. But,
that's not great.
I guess I didn't know about the house show rule because I typically go to Raws and SmackDowns.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, my heart filled with blood. I don't know about you, but...
So, our opening contest for the night, which we took bets on, and Aaron won. It was the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, teaming with Braun Strowman, going against my personal favorite tag team, The Revival, Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson.
Say yeah.
Say yeah, for real.
Now,
Say yeah.
Now, Aaron, you noticed something very interesting about the New Day, because when we got there, they weren't there yet, right?
Correct.
How'd that work?
Well, so before this match, before the show started, I think it was before the show started, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Brief moments before the show
Brief
started.
moments, yeah. They showed a video on the Tron of the New Day just arriving in the building.
Yeah.
And they were in street clothes, and they were welcoming everybody and saying we're excited, and they walk in the locker room, and then, 5 minutes later, they're out in the ring in their gear, throwing pancakes.
Oh, we just got here!
Yeah. Ready to go.
So either A, they wear their gear underneath their street clothes.
Right.
That sounds actually legit.
Like as
I could totally see Big E doing
Big
that.
E, yeah.
Big
as
E
they're
totally.
driving down the highways and byways, they are just geared up, always ready for wrestling. And then, but the pancakes, I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
Maybe they meal prep like a lot of people do on Sundays.
Oh.
So they meal prep their pancakes earlier in the week.
Oh, by meal prepping, do you mean cooking?
Yes.
Okay, that's what the rest of the world calls it. So all you people out there that are meal prepping, because you put the food in a plastic container, doesn't mean it's different than cooking. So fuck off. All right?
So they cooked some pancakes earlier in the week and just stashed them in Ziploc bags and keep them in their luggage.
It's weird.
Or Big E maybe keeps them in his singlet that he has underneath his shirt.
That's even weirder.
It's super weird. Yeah, all right, well, John, you love the Revival. Why? Tell me why. And I'm going to tell you why I love them, because I noticed something tonight that is just extraordinary about them.
I think I love the Revival so much because they're so different than every other tag team. Their slogan is no flips, just fists. And I feel like they're very old school in their style of wrestling. And they're very much do a lot of tandem moves that are powerful. And I appreciate like how they're not always go, go, go. They slow things down. They separate the ring in half, keep opponents on one side, so that it's harder for them to tag out.
They do, and Aaron noticed that many times they would drag a opponent, across the ring, right, to kind of keep them from tagging in, especially when you got the monster among men, Braun Strowman, just hanging out there waiting to come in.
Right.
So we see tons of indie wrestling, right? And we see the good. We also see the bad. We see it all. And one of the things I noticed about there was a hot tag to Kofi Kingston in this match, and then there was like an even hotter tag to Braun Strowman. There was all kinds of. This is a really good opener. It's kind of seemed like more like the main event style because it was like 40 minutes long.
Oh god, it went forever.
It was so long.
It went forever.
And one of the things I noticed about the Revival is that when Kofi hits this hot tag, he comes in House of Fire. And I don't remember which one it was, but this dude was feeding at a speed that you don't see on the indies. You know what I mean?
Ash Wilder.
He gets knocked down, and he's up again instantly, ready to get knocked down again for this, big comeback. And that kind of shit is so important. And I don't know how many times on the indies I see a guy get a hot tag, and the bad guy doesn't feed. Or he just lays there, and it's like, fucker, get up! You got it! Oh, we lost him. You know what I mean? Just like that. So stuff like that makes me very happy. I loved it. Aaron, what you think about all this? Tell me a little bit about the entrances too.
So I think we could have timed New Day's entrance with a sundial. It took them forever to get to the ring.
You like that, Sean? Sean like that.
And then and Braun Strowman wasn't much shorter. It took forever. And then. I know Andy wasn't very excited about this, but we got a little promo from Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
After the Revival came out, and Sami introduced Shinsuke Nakamura as the partner for the Revival. So it was really good. Like you said, a great opener. Probably could have been the main event.
Yeah.
Because there was just action upon action upon action, really fast moving. But then we all looked down at our phones like, oh my god, it's 45 minutes into the show and we've only had one match.
Yeah, they didn't start. The show started at 7:30, and the bell did not ring until 7:50.
Yes,
so
they killed 20 minutes.
Yeah,
with entrances and
hokey pokey, man.
Lots of hokey pokey.
So much hokey.
So much, and I get that it's a house show, and the fans were really into it, and I expect some hokey pokey and some goofing around at a house show, but man, 20 minutes. And then the match finally starts. At that point, I was just like, okay, these guys have been out here forever. I feel like I'm watching a 3-hour episode of Raw.
Yeah, it's fine, and I get it. I mean, the kids that were sitting in front of us were fucking losing their minds.
Yes.
There were so many kids that were having the time of their life, and I get it. They don't care about seeing moves and, psychology in the ring and shit like that. So, they did what they needed to do. I thought it was a lot of fun. This match had fucking everything in it, you know what I mean? One thing it didn't have was like a hardcore stipulation. That was like the only thing it didn't have. And it was shocking to see kind of a opening match that did it all. Because I thought it was kind of downhill after that opening match, honestly. That was my opinion. But, John, what'd you think?
One of my favorite hokey pokey spots for this match, I don't even know if the match was even started, but there's a spot where Dash Wilder took his shirt off and he was warming up the crowd, like, which side do you want me to throw it to? And everybody would cheer. And then he went to act like he was going to throw it, and he threw it at Big E. And Big E caught it and shoved it down his singlet.
With all the pancakes down there.
And started rubbing it all around his dick.
Yeah.
And then he threw it at Scott Dawson straight in the face. Who rolled out of the ring and scurried, and then threw the shirt into the crowd. And some little child grabbed it. And they were so gleeful about getting this crotch rubbed shirt.
In Japan, there's this tradition in Japan, right? So all the like babyface wrestlers that everybody loves, you can buy their like towel, right? And so when they leave the ring, they will take the towel and wipe it on their head, and you get their sweat on their towel, right? And that's like a big fucking deal. So, you know, it's kind of like that, only a little different. It's ball sweat.
Yeah,
So
they didn't have to pay for it, which, I mean, people are into buying things that get wet from different types of fluid from the body. What? You've never heard of that?
I'm not following you. Please explain.
Oh, like people will secrete on items and sell it, or like wear it for multiple days.
Oh yeah, the bathwater thing and stuff.
Yeah,
okay, I got
it's
you.
weird. So I imagine that's what this was.
Okay. Aaron, did you catch how expensive a Bray Wyatt mask was at the house show?
Was it $50?
$50. Okay, so let me teach you guys a lesson. We're, education first on the Road Home from Wrestling podcast.
Oh, yeah. Never
buy stuff at a or WWE show, all right? And the reason is because a $30 shirt on there will be buy one get one free tonight, like later tonight on. I mean, just sign up for their email list or whatever, and they'll send you coupons like every other day. They send me 3 today. Right?
You get free shipping on a lot of stuff.
Or wait, like a lot of times too, just like check the clearance shit. Like right now I'm wearing my Daniel Bryan hoodie. I fucking bought 2 of these for $30. Like both of them were $15. So I mean, just wait.
My Revival shirt, we bought buy one get one for $1.
There you
go. They ended up sending me 2 of them.
Nice.
Plus the 3rd shirt. So I was like, sweet.
See, that's what you do. $50. Get the fuck out of here.
And don't ever expedite the shipping because it comes from Grove City, which is up by Columbus.
Yeah, we're
you do not need to expedite it because it comes in like
where
2
we
days.
are. Yeah, it's true. So anyway, all right. Well, who won the match? Did we get there?
Well, yeah. So we had. You told me to make sure to keep track of how many dive spots we had tonight.
My guess was we'd have 2 or less,
and we got 2 in this match alone.
That was the only, and that was the only dives of the night, right?
Dives of the night.
That's all shots.
And the second one really caught us by surprise. Because we're like, oh, Kofi did 1 dive. All right, cool.
He did a
and
second
then
one,
Big E chucked him over the top rope for a second dive.
Yeah, he did like the back body drop over the top rope. Pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So who won? What did we get that for?
Braun Strowman hit a running power slam on Shinsuke Nakamura for the win.
How surprising, right?
I know, because they're feuding right now.
Well, okay, so, I kind of, at the beginning, I was teasing, talking about the rules of house shows, and one of the rules of the house shows is the babyface always goes over, right? Unless there's a championship involved. So if it's like a heel champion versus a babyface, the heel champion's going over. However, in the past couple years, the WWE has mixed that up a little bit. And I don't mean these like title changes. What I mean is sometimes you go to a house show and the heel just wins. Or sometimes a champion just gets pinned, like in this match. That's very rare that you'll see, something like that. But nowadays it's a little different. So, it's just one of those things that I was kind of surprised to see. Also, Nakamura was on low effort Nakamura tonight. He didn't do shit in this match. He was like, I'm the champion. I'm going to stand here and look cool. That's all I need to do. So he is one of my favorite wrestlers ever. If you've never seen it, everyone raves about this match, but it's the match that got me into Japanese wrestling. It's Wrestle Kingdom 9, Kota Ibushi versus Nakamura. The entrances alone are some of the greatest things you'll ever see. The match is incredible. And that's the Nakamura that we all thought we were going to get in WWE. We are all marks, by the way, because we should have known better. That was ridiculous.
Kind of been NXT like that for a minute.
One match versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
So that was tremendous. The NXT TakeOver Dallas. That's a tremendous match. It's a Japanese style, strong style match, and that's what he was known for. He got to do one of those, and that was it.
Which was his very first match in WWE, well, NXT.
Him and AJ Styles did sort of that at WrestleMania, and what's funny is that they also had a match at like Wrestle Kingdom 12 maybe or 10, I can't remember, and that people rave about a lot, and it's very good. However, it's very, very slow paced, and so they kind of did that same thing at WrestleMania one year, and everyone was like, I don't like this match, because it was slow paced, and I'm like, well, that's Nakamura. Go watch this Japanese shit. It's not fast paced ever, So, anyway. All right, so good guys win, and we move on to the next match. What was the next match?
The next match was a triple threat women's division match.
Oh boy.
It was Charlotte Flair versus Natalya versus the women's tag team champion, Asuka.
That's right. Now, Aaron, you are not a fan of Natalya.
That is correct.
However, we're a positive show. So
Yes.
why are you a fan of Charlotte? You like her, right?
Oh yeah, I will argue that Charlotte is probably the best women's wrestler in the world currently.
Okay. Nice.
I think she brings everything in-ring work as well as mic work, and she can work with pretty much anyone. So I love her work. I'm a big fan of Charlotte. I don't hate Natalya's work. I think she has no personality and no character, and for that reason, I don't care about her work because she doesn't give me a reason to care.
So you hate her personally? Okay.
No, I do not. I do not hate her as a person.
Do you know what Natalya does well?
What's that?
She plays the victim really well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, she's really good at getting sympathy, I think, as like being just like when they use storyline purposes, like, oh, your dead dad doesn't like you. Like, you feel bad for her.
Right.
That was awful. Oh
That was
my
a pretty
God.
bad, pretty terrible.
You feel bad because you're like,
very
oh,
I felt
taking
bad.
this paycheck.
Yeah, I
for
felt
that.
bad for her because she was so distasteful. I'm like,
Right.
oh my God, that was awful. Yeah, you know, Charlotte and Natalya had that one amazing match at one of the early NXT shows where, you know, Charlotte finally won the title or whatever. I think maybe it was the first title match or something. I can't remember. It was
yeah.
so, you know, Ric Flair was there and Bret Hart was there and they both cried and everything. It was tremendous. You know, I disagree with you a little bit, Aaron, about Charlotte. I think she's awesome. I think it depends on who she's working with. She's like Randy Orton. It depends on who she's working with and if she's motivated. When she's motivated, I mean, like the last standing match, last woman standing match with her and Becky Lynch, fucking tremendous shit, right?
Oh yeah.
The WrestleMania match, I can't remember. It was like a triple threat, I think, WrestleMania match. It was the main event. That was awesome.
Becky and
You know, at Dallas. That was also in Dallas. That was tremendous.
Oh,
that was
Becky.
30. Yeah, that was 32 with,
32,
with Sasha and Becky.
Okay, there you go. That was awesome. You know, I mean, she is capable of doing great things. I don't see it all the time, is what I'm trying to say. But, you know, we didn't see great things from anybody in this match, did we, John?
No, it was tough.
Tell me a little bit about it. What do you think about this?
There was a couple botches
Oh my
that
God.
were really tremendous. There was
Get
one.
your own shit, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just saying they're really fun.
Yeah,
So
okay.
there's a spot where Natty gets Charlotte in the corner, and so for some reason she gets her in the corner and then goes down on all fours.
She makes a table, yeah.
And we're like, "What are you doing, girl? There's no one else around. Like Asuka's knocked out on the outside."
Yeah, they did the gimmick where they kept knocking Asuka to the outside so the two girls could work, and then, you know, but go ahead, sorry.
So Natty gets out on all fours, and Charlotte looks at her like, "What are you doing?"
Just
and
kicks her in the
kicks her in the stomach. And then Asuka, I guess, peers up from the outside. It's like, "Oh shit!"
Yep.
So she like scurries in, and Charlotte for some reason just backs into the corner again. And Asuka comes running and jumps on her back.
Poetry in motion kind of deal.
There was no poetry there.
Yeah, it was bad. This match was bad.
Yeah,
There was another botch that I really liked that involved Asuka and Natalya again. So Natty had Charlotte in the sharpshooter, and Asuka runs from behind to like bulldog her, and Asuka just keeps going forward, and Natty like realizes, oh, I was supposed to go forward too.
Oh.
So then she finally like tumbles forward. I'm
God,
like, this is...
it was bad, and I love these. I love all them. You know, I'm not a huge Natalya fan, but I recognize her as a pretty good wrestler. You know, and I love Asuka. This was garbage. It was garbage. I don't know what to say about it other than it was just really bad, and it sucks because we're sitting there and I'm bitching and moaning about how, man, this crowd doesn't care. Why is everybody leaving? And then they give us that, and I'm like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? The chicken being this bad match, the egg being the crowd doesn't care. You know, we'll never know, I guess. So
I think it was the match.
Was it?
The chicken? It came first.
well, my point is that this was not good.
No.
Who won? Let's move on. Good Lord.
To Aaron's surprise, Asuka put on the Asuka lock on Natty. We knew Natty was only in this match to take the fall.
Yeah.
There was no other reason for her to be there besides to botch. So Asuka wins with an Asuka lock.
Yeah.
Aaron thought that Charlotte was going to win.
I did.
Well, you wearing the Charlotte gear. I mean, you're all about her, right?
Well, and I was going by the old house show rule of baby faces always go over at house shows. And even though Asuka, at the end of the match, was acting like a baby face.
Super baby face out there high-fiving, signing autographs. Like, what are you doing?
She got a big pop when she came out.
She did.
And I will tell you, this crowd, when they popped hard, man. I mean, this crowd was loud and a lot of times. Especially with Braun Strowman, man. They went nuts for him, which was great. This little kid in front of us kept saying, I like Braun Strowman. And I was like, that's adorable. You are a child among men. So, anyway, all right, so tell us, what's the next match, John? You guys like that joke?
That was good. That was good.
Just made that up.
You've been sitting on that all night.
Just like every joke that was made up right now. So, there you go. What was next?
The next match
John,
was
your name's
the
John.
Authors of Pain,
Oh my
which
God.
I don't. What's their names? Akam and Razor.
Yeah.
Against Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Joe.
Happy to see Joe. He didn't do shit in this match,
Nope.
really, so...
Played with his hair a couple times.
He did. He's got the Nakamura hair now, and, Samoa Joe just recently turned face on TV, so he's, teaming up with face Kevin Owens, and, this match was kind of garbage, too.
Yep.
It was really short, too.
It was short, which was good.
Right.
It was a brawl on the outside to begin, and they did that for, like, way too long, to the point where they were all just kind of standing there looking at each other, like...
Joe just got on the apron. He's like, are we going to start
Yeah,
this?
yeah, Joe, exactly. Joe was like, well, come on, guys, let's get this started. Finally, we got ourselves a match. This is the kind of match that exists for one reason. Do you guys know what that reason is?
To get the crowd a chance to see wrestlers they like.
Nope. This is one of those matches that's out there to teach these AOP guys how to fucking wrestle. That's what's going on here. Put them with these guys, with Samoa Joe, with KO, get them some instincts, start to teach them some of the, finer points and polish them up a little bit.
It didn't work.
Not tonight. Got a lot to learn. Luckily, this loop is, still got a while to go on this loop.
Right.
So,
But my thing is, isn't that what like the Indies are for? Isn't that what NXT is for? Why are they already on Raw if they can't hold a match?
because they're big. Look how big they are.
Like,
That's
Aaron,
why.
Like Aaron asked me earlier when they came out. It's like, oh, you're not an AOP fan? I was like, they haven't done anything.
No.
They had like 2 good matches down at NXT,
Yeah,
and that's because it was against like Ciampa and Gargano.
what's the name of their manager? I can't remember his name now.
For AOP?
Yeah, what was his name?
It used to be Paul Ellering.
Right, and remember how he got, like, how they got rid of him? He just pointed,
Yeah.
and then he walked away.
Yeah.
That's it. He couldn't even tell that fucking story. Come
It
on.
was his first night on Raw.
Yep.
And then they're like, go. And it's like,
That was it. He pointed. Come on.
Went off to the pastors and
Unbelievable.
never been heard of from since.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to, like, travel with them and everything, which is fine, but, I mean, they could have done a story with that. So, these guys are Seth Rollins flunkies. I prefer J&J Security, because these guys have no personality whatsoever, and that's the problem, is that, Seth Rollins is a better straight man than he is, like, a guy that's, needs a straight man, if that makes any sense, So, I know these guys are his heaters or whatever, but I wish they had some kind of personality. I just wish they had something. Come on, man. But Aaron, you love AOP, right?
I don't love AOP. I don't hate them. I'm kind of indifferent.
Okay.
So they have no personality, and
Yeah.
you're indifferent. Natty has semi-personality.
Because
and you're
I have been stuck watching Natty for over like 15 years at this point.
Yeah, it is time for her to hang it up. you
Like
know?
I have nothing against her person. Her in-ring work is good, but it's the personality. It's just not there. It's never, and they've tried so many times.
Okay.
With her.
Okay, AOP.
AOP, same thing. They have no personality.
Yeah.
They need to get a personality, and I think that's why they're putting them with Seth Rollins, is to try to maybe get some of that out of them, or to get a point where they just got to stand back there and just look mean, and they don't really have to show any personality.
Yeah,
They just
well,
gotta-
I don't know if they can do that.
Well, plus somebody's got to get beat up. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what they're there for. They're not there to benefit themselves. They're
Right.
there to benefit Seth Rollins, and that's it. Seth Rollins, not on the card tonight, by the way.
Nope.
But we did get the other champion, thank fucking God. So,
Yes, we did.
Well, Rollins isn't a champion anyway.
oh, he isn't? I don't know. I don't watch WWE anymore, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, where are we at here, John? Tell me.
We're at the finish of this match.
Okay, what happened?
Because it was so short.
Yeah, what happened?
One of the AOP guys, don't know which one, because they look very similar. They grabbed the ring bell and hit Samoa Joe with it, and caused a disqualification. And the ref calls for the bell, and the ring announcer's like, "I can't, man. The bell's in the ring."
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Finally, the ref gave him the bell, and then he rang the bell, and we were like, "Oh!" And we clapped sarcastically. Yes, we were fucking marked. So that was awesome. What happened after that?
Then they kind of beat up on Joe a little bit. KO got back in the ring, hit a stunner, sent the
Crowd went nuts.
yeah the crowd. I was gonna say sent the crowd home happy, but we weren't done yet.
It's funny how the crowd went bonkers for Samoa Joe, and then as soon as he started wrestling, they were like,
Sitting on their hands again.
I'm gonna go pee now. You know. Anyway, what happened next?
Our next match was a title match.
What?
They guaranteed us a title match tonight, and I figured it was going to be for like the 24/7 title or something.
Oh yeah, we didn't get to see that. That would have been a fun little skit, you know.
We didn't get to see a lot of stuff tonight.
That instead of the Lana skit would have been great, you know.
Oh boy, we'll get to that. It was a last man standing match
Yikes.
for the Universal title. It was The Miz against The Fiend.
Okay, this is when okay, so I don't want this to sound like I didn't have fun tonight. I had a blast. I love going to house shows. It's so much fun to see the atmosphere, see these little kids losing their minds, and see all these big-time wrestlers, and see how good they are, most of them. However, this confirmed for me that tonight, once again, I would not be seeing Daniel Bryan wrestle. And I was very pissed because all the house show results for the past week or so are like, oh, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend. And I didn't get to see that, but we did get to see The Miz come out all happy. You know, he's like, hey man, I'm The Miz, look at me. I'm in a last man standing match versus a supernatural being. Yeah! You know, which was kind of shocking. I was wanting him to be a little afraid, which he at no point showed fear.
He wasn't timid at all.
No, he didn't give a fuck. He's like, yeah, it's a house show, you know, I get beat up, but tomorrow I'll be fine. That's good. You know,
And why is he getting cheered? He was getting cheered. He was trying to get cheers for the fans when he came out.
Because he's he's been a bad guy the past few weeks on SmackDown. Now, especially with Morrison back, they're, back to being the heel tag team.
I don't know.
And it's tonight was like Bizarro World.
It really was.
It was. I mean, The Fiend got more cheers than The Miz at certain times during this match. Now, okay, let's talk about The Fiend's matches real quick, okay? They are not the standard type of matches where you have a 3-act structure, which we talked about on the IWA episode a little bit, but they are completely different, and they are not there to get a crowd reaction either. So that's one of the things that I find interesting about his matches is they aren't trying to get crowd reactions. It's trying to just tell the story of the fact that this guy is dominant and he's unbeatable. And he's invincible. I mean, Aaron, tell me, you've seen a bunch of The Fiend's matches. Yeah. What do you think about him?
Well, I love Bray Wyatt in general. So to see him get this, I won't call it a mega push, but a really, really substantial push.
This is a mega push. Yeah, that's what it is. You're right.
I mean, it's a really good push for him. And at first, when they started doing Fiend matches, he showed no signs of weakness. He took he would no-sell basically everything. But now as they've started doing more and more, like when he wrestled Daniel Bryan, and he started selling a little more. He sold a little more tonight as well than what I've seen. So I think they're trying to get to a point to where it's going to be more like a traditional match. Not completely, because you're still going to have different aspects of the Fiend character. But I like the way they're going to make him seem like at least he has a little bit of weakness, like he's not completely dominant.
You can put him down for a few seconds, you know, which is all you need to win a match, right?
Exactly.
So, and in this case, though, 10 seconds is what was needed, right? So actually, The Miz is at a major disadvantage in this match because he's got to put him down for longer, you know? John, why do fans love tables so much, and why did people just lose their minds when a table came out in this match?
I think it's because there's something inside of us that we didn't know we had when we started watching wrestling but we slowly developed it. It's kind of like the human nature. Like, you're gonna lie. You're gonna, like, be rude at some point. And there's a human nature in us that always wants to see someone either get, choke slammed through a table, because inside of us, we've always wanted to choke slam someone through a table.
Okay.
Or power bomb someone. Like, we've wanted to put someone through a table at some point in our life. And so in wrestling, tables are staples. Well, not technically. They're not the same thing. But, like, tables are, like, wrestling equals tables.
Yeah, it's a wrestling weapon, sure.
And so, if it's like a hardcore match, the bell effect, we want a table.
It's true.
Pavlov's law. Did we do that? Was that
Pavlov's dog?
No, law.
That's not a thing.
Wasn't that we had a discussion about it.
Pavlov's dog?
Yeah.
That's not Pavlov's law.
Well, I thought it was like a law that he came up with.
I don't know nothing about that.
Anyways, the bell, dog salivating.
Yeah.
That
So
thing.
the tables, we're conditioned, classic
Yes.
conditioning. We're conditioned to love that sound and the visceral kind of thing of somebody going through a table. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So people love it. They were chanting for tables, and the Miz got one out, Bray Wyatt got one out, and both times crowds were like, "Ah, fucking table, you kidding me?" And Dean, I'm sorry, John, I apologize.
What?
John, you had a really funny joke. You said, "Man, those are some funny looking doors."
I did, because we're so used to going to indie shows.
That was awesome.
Where no one has tables except for NWF, because Roger spares no expense.
That's pretty great.
But almost every other place has, like, crappy doors that they use as tables. And everyone just accepts it as if it's a table.
It's awesome, though. I love doors. They're the best, They make an even cooler sound than a table does. So, and then you can pick the door up later and beat people with it. So,
And you don't typically have to cut it down the middle to get it to break. It
right.
just breaks.
I was also kind of fantasy booking in my mind that Braun Strowman should just, like, use a table as a weapon like most people do a chair. And just start hitting people with a fucking giant full-size table.
Well,
That would
like
be
4 people
amazing.
down with one table.
I would love that. That would be great. All right, so, I love The Fiend. I mean, thank you guys so much for asking, first of all. Second of all, I just want to say I love The Fiend character. I loved his match with Daniel Bryan. I thought it was just top-notch. I thought this match was a lot of fun, and I was interested in it because it's different. I like it. Now, the crowd did not really get up for this as they would, like, normally for a different match, although... Man, I think a lot of it was because they were split. There was like a lot of people that really liked The Fiend. There was like 5 rows down. There was this like group of people that had signs and like the masks and everything, and they were all about The Fiend. What do you think about all this, John?
I thought that their parents had a deep wallet to be able to afford all those
true.
Fiend masks.
Very fair, very fair.
I think it's cool though, because Bray Wyatt, I think he's always kind of been over, just his character's so different than everybody else. And then adding this extra layer of him having, like, this double personality of a kids' TV show host now, and also just some, like, sort of demonic presence. I think that's why people like him, because he's so far apart from any other wrestler that we're seeing in WWE right now.
It's also one of the only storylines that WWE is, like, kind of not ever making mistakes on. You know what I mean? They're, like, doing it right.
Don't jinx it.
Hey, they don't listen to this. That's fine. Let's see here. So The Fiend, I'm assuming he won the match, right? Is that right?
He did. So he hit his sister Abigail on Miz after Miz did like his clothesline through the ropes and was sitting there. And then Dean grabbed him and did his sister Abigail. But somehow Miz got up at the count before a count of 10, which was weird. Just like there was a spot earlier that Fiend was counted to like 9. I was like, what is this? But eventually Bray Wyatt got a table, came in, and hit a mandible claw choke slam on Miz through the table.
Nice.
And it was good for the victory.
Yeah, and as soon as we saw those tables coming, I'm like, well, we know what our finish is going to be. It's going to be one of these tables. But they broke one first. Bray went through it, and all the pieces kind of fell on him, and he did a real good job of just kind of like pushing him off at the last second to get up. I like that stuff. I think that's cool. Anyway, all right. So what was next?
Your favorite part of the
Oh, single intermission! Oh my God, that's amazing. So during single intermission, we just sat there because there was like 2 concession stands, and that was to serve like a lot of people. I would guess that there were about 2,500, 3,000 people there. What do you guys think?
I was going to say 2,500.
There you go. Aaron?
Yeah, I would say about 2,500, 3,000.
I mean, this is a good crowd,
yeah,
you know?
it was a real good crowd.
They had it quartered off, you know, it wasn't the full stadium, of course, but, you know, they got to at least do some of that for the stage. But yeah, it was a lot of people there, and, you know, like I said, it was a lot of fun. I don't know, is there any ref questions, John, that you wanted to ask? We have a referee in the car, and I know that you were constantly talking about refereeing, so let's hit Aaron with some of these questions here.
Well, I wanted to first personally ask Aaron a question. What referee, like when you were a child, did you just knew you wanted to be a referee when you grew up? And if so, which referees or ref inspired you to become one?
I won't say that I knew that I wanted to be a ref. I will say I knew that I wanted to be involved in wrestling.
Okay.
And my dad's the one that got me started watching it, and that was like the one thing that we could always talk about, no matter what, was wrestling. Probably the two refs that really stick out to me, Tommy Young from the NWA, used to ref all the Ric Flair matches back in the day. For those who don't know who he is, go look him up immediately. He was amazing. Some of the stuff he did with Ric Flair was just top-notch. And then also Earl Hebner, of course. So for those two, like I said, I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 83, so my first recollections of wrestling, my first recollection of match that I ever saw was Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair at the Chi-Town Rumble when Steamboat won the title in 89. So that's my first major recollection. Those would probably be the two that really kind of stick out to me.
So if Earl Hebner, I have two questions for you, by the way.
Yes.
One is, if Earl Hebner is kind of your hero as a ref, does that mean you're just waiting to screw somebody?
Yes. I do.
Just laying in wait, you know? And do you have a twin brother? I mean, that's
And
kind of
do you like to steal merchandise and sell it on the side?
No to all of the above.
Damn.
Yeah. No to all the above.
So I have a question, and this is a nitty-gritty, nerdy wrestling question. No one has been able to answer, and I don't understand it. So, okay, you shoot a guy into the corner, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're fighting him in the corner, and all of a sudden, the ref is calling for a ref break. Or, worse, they're saying this: get him out of the corner.
Yeah.
Okay, you're responsible for you. All right, I'm a big fan of I'm responsible for me. I'm not responsible for you guys. All right, so if you're in the corner, how the fuck is it my fault? Why are you telling me to get him out of the corner? He's in the corner.
Because you put him in the corner.
But
You're responsible for your actions.
No.
You're responsible for your actions. You are the reason he is in the corner.
That's not fair. So if you walk away, then what? You want me to whip him out of the corner?
No, when you walk away, you are out of the corner. So you're no longer. It's illegal. It's legal at that point because you're not attacking him in the corner.
This once again a non-satisfying.
When
answer.
you are attacking him
I
in the
like
corner,
it.
that's when it's illegal.
I don't like it.
Well, I'm sorry that I'm making sense. I apologize.
John, what else?
I have another question.
Okay.
Why? So, tag matches. Tag matches are.
I knew there was
one
going
of
to be a
my
tag
favorite.
match question. I just knew.
Why is it so difficult for you to be why is it so easy for you to be distracted by the good guys in tag team matches and then allow the bad guys who you can't see because your back's turned to them, the bad guys get away with everything, get away with highway robbery, and the good guys, you stop them before they even get in the ring.
Why are the good guys so impatient? Why can't they just stay in the corner and wait for the tag? They're always charging in and yelling at me and pulling me away and being like, hey, come on, turn around. But I can't turn around until they get out of the ring because they're not the legal man.
But they are the good guys, and so I would think that you would trust them a little more if they said, hey, turn around. Those schmucks behind you are doing
But they
some
can't be in
bad
the ring.
things."
They're not the legal man.
But maybe you have one hand on them saying, hey, I'm going to hold you here while I turn around and check what's going on behind me.
I can't do that. They have to get out of the ring.
Is it because you don't have your glasses on?
No, that is not it at all. I can see just fine in the ring.
I did while you're back there.
I can see just fine in the ring.
You
Thank
just
you very
rolled your
much.
eyes out in the back seat.
Here's what I think, all right? First of all, Aaron, you know, a classic diversionary tactic is answering your question with a question. So, very good. I like that. The other thing, too, is that you guys ever watch a baseball game and the umpire, like, okay, there's a clear ball 4, but the batter walks away to go to first base before before the umpire calls it a ball, and so the umpire's like, strike, you know? I think that's what's going on here. I think that Aaron's like, oh, you're going to tell me what to do? You're going to tell me to turn around? I don't think so. Get back in your corner. I think it's all about the ref's ego, and that's why you answered that question with a question. You put it on somebody else.
I am just there to enforce the rules. The rules are, if you have not been tagged, you can't be in the match. Get out of the ring.
But how come you don't enforce the rules for the bad guys?
Because I can't see them when the babyface is running into the ring. I don't have eyes in the back of my head, John.
Why don't you get out of the ring, Aaron? Why don't you?
You know what?
Because I have to be the authority.
Okay,
somebody has to keep control of this chaos.
All right, referee, if you want to do this, how about you start installing, so at the hospitals, they put these big mirror balls on the sides of the corner so that you can see what's going on the other sides of the hallway so you don't run into a patient or have a bed run into you. So why don't you start installing mirrors on each turnbuckle that face backwards, so like if a good guy is saying like, hey, there's someone over there, and you're having to hold him back, then you can see in the reflective mirror backwards that there is stuff going, there's shenanigans going on behind you.
How much money do you think I make as a ref, John? Because it sure enough isn't enough money to install mirrors on the top of ring posts.
Well, I'm saying maybe you can go in with some of the good guys who are also, you know,
this would benefit them.
Falling
yes,
victim to this.
Right.
And maybe you guys can all go halvesies on it.
They just point at the mirror now. They don't yell at you. They just point at the mirror, and you go, "Oh, okay. So you're not attacking my ego." So now,
so then when one of the bad guys takes one of the mirrors and uses it as a weapon behind my back, then what's going to happen?
Then you're going to see, hey, there's a broken mirror. I guess a bad guy used that on somebody, didn't they?
All right, well, guys, that was single intermission. What happened next, John? We had ourselves another match, or did we get an awful talking segment?
We got an awful talking segment that, if you don't mind, I'm just going to rush through it.
Okay, let's do it.
This was horrible.
So Lana comes out, she cuts a promo, she introduces my hot, my Bobby Lashley. Like, what? That's not how people talk.
That's you did a great impersonation. I was upset all of a sudden.
She used the word beautiful, too.
Yeah.
She did say that.
She says that they're, since we are incompetent and weren't able to be at that wedding, that's not what incompetent means.
Lana. I thought you were going to rush through this fast.
Barrier. So they decide they are going to renew their wedding vows. Rusev comes out. He has American shorts on.
Hey, Pearl Harbor, Bobby Lashley, too.
And he's got these American flag shorts on, these comfy slippers.
Yeah,
shoes.
he's wearing like slippers.
And then his new t-shirt. He comes out, he Machka kicks Bobby Lashley, scares Lana off, takes his shirt off, flexes for the crowd. Then for some reason Andrade comes out and he Pearl Harbors Rusev as he's getting ready to cut a promo. And then he starts speaking in Spanish, and all the Dayton crowd's like, hey.
So Rey Mysterio was advertised? I did not know that.
I didn't know that
I didn't
either.
know. And so, like, they said he wasn't going to be there, and then Andrade was like, yeah, man, Los Ingobernable, Tranquilo, Rey Mysterio,
U.S. title.
Yeah, so he wants the U.S. title.
Well, he has the U.S.
he is the U.S. champion.
He has the U.S. title, which he didn't have with him tonight. But he said, Rey Mysterio, I'm going to beat you again for the U.S. title. And you already got it, Andrade. You don't need to beat him again.
Okay, so what happened to him?
So then he's like, I'm going to beat up Rusev. And so he goes to beat up Rusev, and then Machka kicks him, and he runs off. And then Rusev high fives and points at his American flag shorts. And we're like,
He says, come on. He says, yeah.
While there's a Bulgarian flag waving
fine.
in the wind on his tight
He's an American citizen now, I think. I don't know.
He is. Good for him. Change the flag on your intro, maybe your music too.
I was saying,
starts coming out to like
Stars
proud
and Stripes Forever.
Proud to be an American.
Release Lee Greenwood. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, so that was fucking stupid. We all agree?
Yes.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Okay. There
Aaron, he had to go shoot up in the bathroom.
That's
so.
what he said. He said he was going to go shoot up there.
Shoot up the stairs.
You're like, dude, don't.
We don't need any rumors starting about me about shooting up in bathrooms.
No one would believe that. Oh my
That's,
God.
I would hope not.
I think that that's the
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's fine. We
Hey,
have time to burn.
what happened next?
So then we went into our next match. But I think me and Andy were both surprised by this, that they were here. The phenomenal AJ Styles was taking on the Viper, Randy Orton.
The Apex Predator. My God.
He hears voices in his head.
Yeah, they talk to him. They counsel him. They understand.
Yeah.
They talk to him. I really like that song, too.
It's a great
by the
song.
way. It just reminds me of like fart rock that like jocks in high school would listen to, and I'm like, yeah, Randy Orton, that's
Yeah,
him right
that's
there.
him.
So
Pounding beers before the football game and
exactly.
just got his girlfriend
Hey,
pregnant.
you! I'm gonna fuck your girlfriend, like that kind of dude, you know.
And he's like,
and he
"All
does
right."
it, you know.
He's like, okay, go for it, man. It's all yours.
Yeah, Randy Orton, AJ Styles. I mean, this is good stuff right here. Crowd didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck, and here's why. Because it was slow paced, but it was very good.
Yeah.
You know, may not have noticed I was enjoying this match because I was like, but man, I thought it was really good. AJ Styles has fucking bumping shoes on, man. He was bumping all over the place. He did bumps over the ropes like 4 times in this match, and they all look like Shawn Michaels. It's amazing.
He also ripped down the barricade at ringside.
Twice.
Yeah!
Which, if I was anyone sitting in that front row and he ripped down that barricade, because it was the entire length
Yes, it was.
of that
The
front
whole
row,
thing went down.
I would have fucking ran into that ring and been like, what up, Randy Orton? What
And
up, my
security
dog?
saddled her ass for like
Yeah.
30 seconds.
They were like, oh, I think the wrestlers are fixed that, right? That's their job.
They'll
you
put
know?
it back up, I think. Maybe they're going to fight out
And
the crowd.
nobody did that, you know? So, man, I feel sorry for anybody who has to drive down this road. I can suck it. But yeah, I don't know. Aaron, you love Randy Orton, right?
I do love Randy Orton.
Why? Tell us why.
I just think he is a great professional wrestler. I mean, he knows how to tell a story in the ring. And I said this to you at the show. The problem with Randy Orton has always been, when is he motivated? You know, when he is motivated, and you mentioned this about Charlotte earlier, when he is motivated, he is really, really good. When he's not motivated, it can be very, very boring, plodding. Tonight, I feel like he may not have been fully motivated, but it definitely was a pretty good match.
Did he even take a bump in this match?
I
don't know if
I don't
he
know
even
if he
took
did.
a bump in
I don't know
this
if he did.
He took a couple, thigh kicks. And
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think he even took a bump.
He
I'm
might not have.
serious, you
He
know?
might not have.
Like I said, this was like a big man, little man match where the
was.
little guy's just bumping all over the place and the big man's just standing there, you know?
AJ did have his working boots on tonight.
Yeah, he's great. You know, I think when we look back on the great wrestlers, we'll think about AJ Styles in the same, conversations with guys like Shawn Michaels. I really think we will.
I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
so it's a pleasure to see these two wrestle because they're both legendary dudes. I don't give a fuck about Randy Orton. I wish he'd retire. I'm so tired of him. He is a channel changer for me. Like, if he comes on my TV, I am changing the channel. But, John, are you here for Randy Orton?
I am. He fits my favorite type, which is tall, tan, and abs.
Braden Lee is short.
Well, and he's not very tan.
No.
But his abs are great.
He does have the abs. Put him over the
sure.
top. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah,
but
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I like Orton. I think so. This is probably gonna get an eye roll from you, but I feel like Stone Cold had this whole persona where he was a good guy, but he was allowed to do bad things, and the crowd still loved him.
Fair enough.
I think Orton has kind of adapted that, where he's a bad boy that everyone still likes. Like, he can do vile stuff, and everyone's still going to cheer for him.
That's fair. Yeah, he did all kinds of heel stuff in this match.
Yeah.
He was
Him-
eye pokes and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Him just posing in the corner is heel shit.
Yeah, it is.
And the crowd, like all the little kids were like doing the pose with him. And there was one thing I noted that I want to make sure we mention here. Aaron, do you know the difference between heel, or do you know how to tell the difference between heel Orton and face Orton?
Not really.
It's very subtle.
His facial hair. If he is a heel, he usually has a 5 o'clock shadow or a
Yeah,
beard.
that's true.
If he's a baby face, he's got a clean face.
Shaven.
There you go. Wow.
Oh, look at that. All
And
right.
that's the only way you can tell because he wrestles the same
He
universe.
does.
Right.
Yeah, he does everything the same. Everything else is the same.
But he's earned that, though, because he's been there for 15 years.
I know.
Busting his ass.
And He's
18.
been there for
18 years?
18 years, right?
Yeah, he
Okay.
debuted in 02.
So you say it like, well, he's been there for 18 years. And here's how I say it. He's been there for 18 years? That's how I say it. So, I mean, we see it from other points, you know. But he did hear the voices at a certain point, didn't he?
He did.
What happened?
He finally hit an RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And got the victory.
The fucking finish on this match was great.
Yes, it was.
I mean, this is a really good match. I loved it. I thought it was great. You know, I could watch those guys wrestle all day, you know?
Well, thankfully, I got to see them twice. The last time I was at a WWE show was here at the Nutter Center, like in March of last year on the road to WrestleMania, and they were feuding then. And then they had a dark match main event, like after the show, where these two fought. And so this is the other thing that I appreciate about Randy Orton, is like he's been there so long that he doesn't give a fuck.
He's been there so long, he doesn't give a fuck.
And the fact that, like, he doesn't care if he can just sit there and laugh at, like, the stuff that's going on in the match. Like, he kept making fun of AJ's hair.
Yeah.
And, like, acting like he was flipping it back and adjusting it. And he would just sit there and laugh. And, like, when they fought in that March show, they just sit there and were having, like, a good time. Like, he's been here so long that he's having a good time and is able to, like, kind of cut it up.
Well, that also tells you a little bit about house shows. It's a lot more loose. I mean, they don't have the time constraints, going to commercial, you know, getting a rest hold. Oh, we got to do a high spot here. You know, they don't have that.
Right.
It just go out there and call it, you know. So just we know we need a couple things we need to get in. Otherwise we're going to hokey pokey this motherfucker up, you know. So that's what they're doing. He did hear the voices to get the win. And after that, we had the main event of the evening, and the main event was who? I don't even remember. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, this was the match of the night. It was a loser eats dog food match.
Why?
The 80s called. They want their match stipulation back.
King Corbin versus Roman Reigns. The match that everyone has been clamoring to see for the last 4.5 months.
Is that how long this feud's been going on?
It feels like it.
It feels like it's been way longer than that.
Ever since SmackDown divided, like from Raw, so that was back in October?
I think I graduated high school when this feud started.
It's
been like, it feels like it's just forever.
Well, okay, so, you know, Roman Reigns is the big dog. So because he's the big dog, they're like, oh, we're going to make you eat dog food. That's okay because of the food. And this is Vince McMahon shit, like 101. I mean, he's gonna eat the dog food. It's hilarious. You know, it's like, it's terrible. It's so stupid. So, you know who didn't give a shit about this? Anybody.
Yeah.
The crowd was leaving. They didn't give a fuck. And like the people behind us were like, dog food? Why? What? Would you want to leave? I heard that like a couple times, you know. So the match was fine. You know, Baron Corbin, I said it when we were there, I think he's an underrated in-ring wrestler. However, he's such a heel that he doesn't ever do anything cool, and all his whole mission in life is to make sure that nobody else does anything cool too. Yep. So, I mean, which is how a heel's supposed to be. However, he's so, you know, intent on being, you know, not cool and not doing anything cool that he won't, I mean, like, nothing fun happens around him. So it's like he never even gets his in the end, you know? I mean, I guess he did tonight, sort of, but
it wasn't in a fun manner.
It's stupid. You guys like Roman Reigns? John, you like Roman Reigns?
No.
No? Aaron, you like Roman Reigns?
That's a negative.
I think
Why not?
He's been, and you and I talked about this at the show, Andy. Same with Baron Corbin. He's been shoved down our throats so much, and I have a feeling we're getting ready to be subjected to another Roman main event push. And I think, we're already starting to hear a few more of those boos again. And I think it's going to get worse and worse. Because I said to you, I think he's going to be the guy to beat The Fiend at WrestleMania.
That makes me ill.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going, because I think that's why he's been doing this feud with Corbin, because in Vince's mind, he's like, well, we'll put him against Corbin because everybody hates Corbin, and he's not in the main event, and yada, yada, yada. It's not a main event story, but yet it's the main event of SmackDown. It's the main event of house shows. And then there's like, well, when we put him up for the title, people will start cheering him. The goodwill for Roman has gone. You know, it's been over a year since he came back from leukemia. He had that you had that time of where people were going to cheer him because he came back, and that's now over.
Yeah,
you know, all that goodwill is over now. So I am not ready for him to beat Bray, but I think that's where it's going.
John,
I'm in the same boat. I feel like he's had 2 Royal Rumble victories. He's main evented WrestleMania 4 times now.
The Rock put him over, you know?
Yeah, he's beat The Undertaker twice at WrestleMania, I think. Or he's beat him once.
He's beat him once, yeah.
But it's like, yo, I'm so tired of this guy. Even Cena didn't get pushed like this, I don't think. Well,
In
he might
06
have.
he did. 06, 07 he did.
But Cena hasn't main evented 4 WrestleManias, has he? They might be tied.
I'm not sure.
But either way, it doesn't feel exactly the same because Cena at least can cut a promo and carry a match if he needs
Cena's
to.
highly entertaining.
And
highly
Roman
entertaining.
is like watching paint dry most of the time.
Roman cut a promo at the beginning of this, and he says, no, 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 no. And that's how he starts every fucking promo. And they're awful, and they don't sound like him. It's not him talking.
Cena's main event at 5, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Well, luckily they're going to tie each other this year.
So, before this match, we had 2 main eventers, right? We had Randy Orton.
Yep.
We had AJ Styles. 2 of the best there is, the best that ever will be, to borrow a phrase, right? And then we have what I consider 2 mid-carders in the main event of the show. Yeah. This is the problem with Roman Reigns. I've nailed it. This is an absolute fact, in my opinion, which I guess is opinion, then it's not fact. But anyway, point is that I think that Baron Corbin is a very good heel for your mid-card. I think that Roman Reigns is a very good babyface for your mid-card. He'd be an awesome IC title holder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Main
he did have
eventer?
the IC title for
No. He's not a top guy. I don't care how many accolades you give him. I don't care how many times you call him a big dog and talk about his yard. We were wondering, is it the front yard? Is it the back yard? Does he have 2 yards? How many yards does he have? All I know is he's not a main eventer, and that is proven time and time again, and I hope it doesn't get proven again, and I hope they realize that this guy, is somebody that now, with all these accolades, can be useful to make another main event heel. All right, that's what his job should be, is to make other guys now at this point. But WWE has a problem where they can't let go. They cannot let go of stuff. I mean, just brought back The Undertaker and Goldberg to almost kill each other in a match that is meaningless. It's absolute trash, and stuff like that will never stop happening with them. So I don't see this changing anytime. That's just my opinion on it, and we all kind of agree on that to some extent. So
They have done everything to get Roman over as a main eventer. They have thrown everything at it, and it still doesn't work.
The only thing they haven't done is let him be a bad guy.
Correct.
If he came out and was just cocky and being like, I'm better than all you guys, I think that would get him booed and get him over then as a bad guy.
Yeah.
do you remember?
But they won't let him.
They dipped the toe in. Do you guys remember? I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not a good guy. Remember that bullshit?
I'm the guy, yeah.
They dipped their toe in. That was Hulk Hogan wearing the black in WCW. That's what that was. And it didn't, they just like always, they can't follow through with stuff. Which is why, overall, I'll throw my thoughts out first. My favorite part of tonight was seeing The Fiend, even though that meant that I wasn't going to see Daniel Bryan in that opening match as far as the wrestling goes. Those are my kind of highlights of the night. And I had a really cool point I was trying to make there. I don't know where that went, but
Maybe he'll come back to you after.
yeah, maybe.
after
I don't know. Who cares? But point is that was my favorite stuff of the night. John, what was your favorite?
I'm probably going to say the opening contest, despite it being 45 minutes and slightly way too long. It was really fun to watch the, as ATM likes to call it, the hokey pokey between the Revival and New Day. And just watching Big E during everybody's entrances where he was going freaking buck wild, playing the guitar on his belt.
Careful. Get your own shit, Big E, but yeah.
It didn't matter whose entrance it was, he was losing his mind. At one point during Shinsuke's entrance, I look down and he's just on his back, kicking his legs in the air.
He's humping the air, hey, check it out, I mean, even in that match, Kofi Kingston started twerking and he uses an offensive maneuver and it worked and it was hilarious,
And Big E started gyrating on someone Dash's crotch and they got him off. Not like that.
Right.
Maybe.
So Aaron's shooting up. He's getting off. I mean, there's all kinds of terrible shit going on down.
Yeah.
Aaron, what'd you think? What was your favorite part of the night?
Well, going in, the one thing I really wanted to see, I wanted to see The Fiend's full entrance live in person for the first time. So that was definitely a highlight for me. I'm like you guys. I love the 6-man tag. It's a great way to start the night. You could have ended the night with that. Everybody would have been happy.
Probably should have ended the night.
Yeah, and Orton and Styles was really good.
Yeah.
Really good wrestling match. I'm excited. I'll get to see it again on Monday. So
Because you're going to Raw, right?
I'm going to Raw.
There you
yeah,
go.
I'm going to get to see Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black kick the shit out of each other. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to
hoping
that.
they'd be
I thought we
tonight.
were going to see that tonight,
Yeah.
but we did not, which is a shame. But that's cool. I saw Aleister Black on the Indies, so
Nice.
fuck y'all, But anyway, all right. Well, we don't usually get a chance to talk about WWE, so I figured, tonight would be an opportunity. You can hear we got our pluses, we got our minuses, and hopefully you guys out there, you watch what you like. If you're like me and you hate so much about WWE or dislike it to the point where it makes you upset, stop watching it, all right? Just stop it. These people that are just constantly complaining about it and acting like that they don't have a choice in the matter makes no sense to me. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Turn the channel.
Yeah, there's so many alternatives. If you get that IWTV app, man, there's like a million things on there you can watch. Some of them work, some of them don't. It just depends on whether they're live or not. But, point is that there's so much shit out there. There's also indie shows near you. Near you. They might be bad, they might be good. You go, you're going to have a blast. So don't spend 3 hours, on your couch on a Monday if you fucking hate it. That's all I'm saying, Do the things you like.
Yeah, I stopped watching Raw because now I watch The Bachelor. It's so much better TV, which is weird. It's a dumpster fire, and I'd rather watch that dumpster fire than the dumpster fire on
And it's
Monday
a
Night
work
Raw.
too, brother. So, it's what it is. All right. Aaron, any other kind of closing thoughts for us or any social media plugs that you'd like to get out there? Or where folks can catch you, maybe,
Yeah, well, first off, go see Future Stars for the NWF tomorrow, 3 o'clock.
Today.
Yeah, today. It's after midnight. Bone Crushers, 3 o'clock. Doors open at 2. I'll be there, as well as several Future Stars. Several PTW people are going to be there as well.
We'll be there?
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah. You guys will be there as well. Twitter, I'm at Grider Groove. And then Facebook, Aaron Grider. You can catch all my sharing of all the NWF and Road Home from Wrestling, podcast links and NWF posters and IWA and PTW and all that fun stuff. So
There you go. John, anything you need to tell us about?
Nope, you can just find me at jhat05, and I think I might actually update that movie website that I have that I posted like 2 times, and I was like, oh, I'm too lazy
Gave
to do
up
this.
on it, man. You got to be consistent with that.
But I got
shit.
my top 25 list ready to go.
Okay, yeah, you tried to go into that on the way up, and I was like, we have to go into that right now.
you totally stopped that like dead in
Come
its
on, man.
tracks.
And we would have got to the show and been like 24? All right, So, all right. Well, you can follow me at Jerusalem Tweets on Twitter. You can follow our show at The Road Home FW. And you can follow us on Instagram at The Road Home FW, where I'm just like posting pictures every once in a while.
You are just random ones.
Because that's what you're supposed to do, I guess. I don't know. You can't share stuff on there. You just kind of like it and then
Yeah,
comment.
It's weird. I have an Instagram. I never use it.
Well, my butt isn't that great. So I don't work out really. So like, what else is there?
I also do not have a great butt. So.
Well, there you go. So don't fall. Wait, it definitely falls on Instagram. You'll see some cool shit on there. I promise. But all right, thank you so much for listening.
Sayonara.
See ya.